Hello. Yeah, I'm here again for the leadership conversation. So welcome to our session on the leadership conversation. As usual, I'm going to be waiting for a few seconds for those who are trying to join. It's now 7 o'clock and our start time is 7 o'clock. Thank you for those of you who have been joining over the past days, and those who are returning today and those who are joining us for the very first time. Yeah, thank you for those who are arriving. Thank you. Okay, welcome back. I'm sure we're going to have a good time today talking about leadership. Let me repeat a very precious quote. If you forget anything at all, don't forget this. Nothing happens without leadership. Nothing changes without leadership. There's no progress without leadership. Leadership sets the limits and constraint to growth in any entity. So to change or to realize growth, grow the leadership. Otherwise, change the leadership, or there can be no development or no progress. Okay. Yesterday we looked at accountability as one of the things that leaders do. But from a broader perspective, we have been looking at leadership as the way that people who are placed in positions of responsibility provide direction for the entity that they lead. Call it an organization, call it a church, call it a country, call it an educational institution, call it a hospital, wherever. Any entity that you lead, leadership is the way that you provide guidance and direction for that entity. And the way you do it may show responsibility or accountability or foresight, innovativeness, and creativity. And the way you lead will either lead to organizational success or organizational failure. And so everything starts with leadership. Everything continues with leadership, and everything ends with leadership. Everything rises and falls on leadership. And leadership is cause. Everything else is effect. And so this evening we are looking at one other way that you can provide leadership. One other thing that you have to do as a leader to be effective. And this thing is so important. It's one of the most important that you can think about doing. We call it effective people management. We call it effective people management. Now, if I take you a little back to basic economics, for those of you who studied a bit of economics, nothing complicated, you would remember that the factors of production is one of the basic things that you learn in economics. And what are they? Land, capital, labor, and entrepreneurship, or entrepreneur we call it those days. Now, so capital and land are physical resources. We need human beings to combine these resources. And the human beings are composed of labor and entrepreneurship. So by people management, we are referring to those two aspects of the factors of production. So it means that we can get all the things, all the physical resources, material resources, financial resources, technological resources, and so on. But they will only constitute labor and capital. They will only constitute land and capital. But we will need the labor and we will need the entrepreneurship. And that's what we are calling people. And we call it human resources. We know that human resources are the most important resource in every organization. Human resources are the most important resource in every organization. And in human resource practice theory, we say that human resources, or the organization's human resources, are the most important resources. They are the most reliable source of long-term competitiveness or competitive advantage. And so if you want your organization to perform well and be ahead of the competition, you need to be able to get the best of people. Why people? Because it is very difficult to imitate people. You can replicate technology. If an organization is doing well, your opponent is doing well, and you think that they are doing well because of the technology they use. It is very easy to go to the shop and go on the shelf and pick any technology from any shelf at all and install in a matter of days, if not in a matter of hours. And but you can still be surprised that although you change technology and still you use the same technology that they are using, you may still be lagging behind. Then you might think that is the physical resources. So let me build a better factory, better office, have better office furnishing. You can do all of this, but you might still be surprised that the other organization is still outperforming you. And so this suggests that there are other factors. There are factors other than the physical resources, other than the technological resources, other than the material resources that may be responsible for an organization's long-term competitiveness and success. And that factor is what we are calling human resources. And that's what when we talk about people management, we are talking about how you manage your organization's human resources. And for me, as an HR practitioner, this is very important to me, because I believe that deeply rooted but trapped in the spirit of every employee are what we call untapped reserves of human resourcefulness that are waiting for a smart manager to be able to identify and harness towards an organization's goal. These human resources may have been, or these people, these employees may have been stigmatized, may have been classified, may have been marginalized in different ways. But if a smart manager gets hold of people and he knows how to turn them on, human beings must be turned on every day, just like lights. Every day you turn on the light in your room. Human beings have to be turned on every day. So if you get a smart manager who can turn on the employees every day, they can work very well, effectively, more than they could be thought possible, or more than could be thought possible about them. So it's important that a critical attention is paid to the organization's human resources. Now, but it's not just the human resources, but it is how they are managed. It is how they are managed. You see, the important thing is that in every organization, we say that the organizational resources or the human resources are the most important resource. Yes. Why do we say so? We say so because they produce everything that we see the organization do. See, and that's why sometimes when an organization wants to beat their competition, the only thing they do is to go and poach the best performing staff, from their competing organization. That's the only way they do it in order to beat the competition, because there is a productive ingenuity in the heart and in the spirit of every employee that if a master, if a manager, if a director, if a supervisor, if a leader knows how to turn them on, if a leader knows how to harness them, if a leader knows how to draw these ones out, he will be able to get the people to do something, you can call it organizational miracle, to do for them. It will shock you what people can do if they are properly turned on. Now, it has to be understood that, you see, organizational performance, organizational success is a factor of several things. Number one, management style. How we manage the people. How you manage the people. Now, we'll create certain mindsets, certain understandings in the heart and in the minds of your employees. So they'll hold certain views in their mind about you. What are those views? That, oh, my employer is one that is concerned about my well-being and my welfare. He has me at heart. He respects me. He thinks about me. He thinks that the organization belongs to all of us. He doesn't think that I have blank head. He respects what I have. He seeks my view. He thinks that I'm part of the story, of the success story. He thinks that we own the organization together. So these are the mindsets that the people form. Now, these are one set of mindsets. The other set is that, oh, management, my manager or my supervisor or my team leader thinks, or this organization thinks that people have blank head, they don't know anything, they don't want to support, management is so stingy, they don't want to pay you properly, they give you peanuts, so you will also give them peanut back. That they are very mean, they don't respect anybody, they don't want you to think, they think you don't have a brain. These also are the other sets of mindsets that employees form. Now, depending on the type of mindset they form about you, the organization, then their performance will follow suit. Organizational performance is normally not just based on skills. Amazingly, skills make a very, relatively small proportion of performance. Often it is about how people think. It's about their emotions. How you connect with them at their emotion. Connect with their emotions. They don't have the skills, but they can go and learn and improve. So even if they don't have the skills, but you can connect with them at the emotional level, and they decide that I'm going to perform. Look, they will go online, read around the subject, they will ask friends, they will do whatever they can to make sure they deliver for you. But if they, assuming on the other hand that they get all the skills, they are well qualified, and they have the knowledge and skills and very competent and great expertise and have a lot of experience, but they have a mindset about you, the manager, about you, the leader, about you, the director, about the organization, that this organization is not the one that has you at heart. What they are going to do is that they are going to disconnect in their minds. So they disconnect in the mind. See, so now that will lead us to the third thing. I spoke about management style. Number two, I spoke about mindsets that organizations, that individuals form about the organization through the way that their managers manage. Now, the third thing that is formed, that this produces, is what you call employee behaviors. Employee behaviors. These employee behaviors may be late coming. Let's start with the positive. So if they form the right mindset about the organization, then the positive behaviors will come. And these positive behaviors will be punctuality, regularity at work, keeping the rules, standing up for the organization, owning the job, taking initiative, being excited about work, providing excellent customer service because they think that my boss gives me good customer service, so I'll give it back. So they give me good customer service, I'll give it back. They treat me good, I'll treat the employees well for them, or I'll treat their clients well for them. So organizations take care of their staff so that the staff will also take care of them. That's very important. So this third set I'm talking about is the organization, employee behaviors. Employee behaviors. And these can be commitment. In addition to all that I've mentioned, these are the positive ones, if the management style is good. Now, on the other hand, when employees form the wrong attitude or the wrong mindset about the organization, the employee behaviors that they will give rise to, or they will show, or they will display, will include late coming, absenteeism, coming late and closing early, trying to dodge work, blaming everybody, pushing the job to another person, not owning the work, and trying to blame other people. You see, so they feel that, well, this work is not mine. They cannot wait for 5 o'clock or the closing time. By the time it is 4:30, if the closing time is 5 o'clock, by the time is 4:30, they have packed everything, computer shut, and they are checking their email, they are checking, they are on the phone, checking their WhatsApp, etc., Facebooking, etc. When it is 10 minutes to 5 o'clock, they're in the washroom trying to, just get themselves ready. Now, by the time it's 5 minutes to 5 o'clock, they are by the door. As soon as it's 5 o'clock, they go, and they don't want to come back, but they come back because of the paycheck. So, and when it's like that, and employees form the wrong attitude or the wrong mindset about the organization, they check out. They really check out. Yes, they do. They check out. They tender in their resignation in their heart, but they still keep coming because of the paycheck. So they will keep coming because of the paycheck, but in their hearts, they have quit the organization long time ago. They still come bodily because at the end of the day, you have to keep soul and body together. So they come and take the money and go. But in their heart, they have checked out a long time ago. So you can get the best graduates from the best university in the world with the best skills, with the best experience, and with the best expertise. You could even go and poach them from somewhere because the organization is doing very well. But if you don't know how to manage them, they will give rise to, or they will display these negative employee behaviors. That's the third thing. The fourth thing that these give rise to is what you call organizational outcomes. It might be organizational success, organizational progress. You're able to realize the objective of the organization. You're able to meet your targets. You're able to increase your market share. You're able to increase your sales and your revenue, your productivity, your profitability. All of these increase. So it's a whole set of issues. One gives rise to another. So let me recap the four things that are at play. Number one, management style. How you lead, how you manage as a manager, as a supervisor, as a team leader, as a director, etc., as a CEO. How you manage your people. And I've explained this already. Now this will form some mindsets in the people about you and about the organization. And the kind of mindset that is formed will then give rise to certain employee behaviors. And these employee behaviors will in turn determine the kind of outcome that you get as an organization. So how do you manage? In which ways can you manage so that you can get the kind of outcomes that you want? Admittedly, managing people can be hard, can be very challenging, because human beings are not like machines that you can pre-program them and they will work for you. And they are very sophisticated. They understand things in different ways. What will work for one person may not work for the other person necessarily. And they are sophisticated and they differ. And you can't program them. You cannot predict how they behave with a lot of precision. So admittedly, it is very difficult managing human beings. However, there are very broad ways that we can manage them. And one way is to do what we call motivate them. To motivate them. Motivation is a broad word. It's just a way of inspiring people to perform. In order to, doing something that will call for the person that wants to work. Inside everybody is a lazy person and a hard person. It's a lazy person and a hard-working person. Inside every employee is a lazy person and a hard-working person. So your management style, your motivation, style of motivation will either arise or arouse the lazy person or the hardworking person. Let me repeat that. Your management style, whether or not you motivate and how you try to motivate, will either arouse, will either quicken the lazy person or the hardworking person inside the employee. So your management style is very, very, very important. Now, so motivation is that which you do in order to generate a lot of passion in the individual to be able to act. So to act or not to act is a function of motives. So an employee is able to perform a duty and deliver and be able to meet a target if you are able to generate enough motives inside the person, enough motivation inside the person towards that act. See, so that's the way it works. Now, there are several theories of motivation, and I don't want to bore you with theories. This is a practical session. But you know, practice without thought can be very blind. See, the same way as thought without practice can be vain. So we want to bring a little thinking into this whole process. Now, the one theorist that I've grown to love a lot is Abraham Maslow. I'm sure many of you have met Abraham Maslow, his theories, his thoughts about motivation and so on and so forth. I'm just going to quickly recap Maslow. Maslow thinks that everybody can be motivated and that people have different things that motivate them, and that these things that motivate them are at different levels, and that once you motivate a person at one level, that which motivates them at that level ceases to motivate them, and then you need to move to the next level to be able to motivate them, to know the things that will motivate them. But he looks at 5 different things that or needs, 5 different needs that an employer can meet in the employee that can lead to peak performance. What are these things? Maslow believes that the first thing that employer has to do to motivate the employee is to meet what we call their physiological needs. What are they? Basically, it's about the basic things that we need in nature. What? Food, clothing, and shelter, the basic needs of man. So, and this comes, through salary. When you pay them salary, you pay them well. They work and you pay them their salary. The man earns and you pay them their salary. Some employers, when the man earns, they don't even ask whether you are working or you are. They don't even think that they need to pay you. If they are going to delay payment, they don't even inform the employees. So the employees left guessing when salaries will come. Not to talk about the fact that most of the salaries that we pay are so meager that they don't motivate or inspire the employee to perform. See, so physiological needs can be met by salary, by gifts that you give, material rewards, material things that you give to the employee. Those are physiological needs, okay? So the person can take that money and buy food and buy water and build a house, etc., etc., etc. Those are physiological needs. That's a very basic level. So and when you work, when employees work for you and you pay them at the end of the month, that's nothing extraordinary. You are supposed to pay them anyway. So they are not supposed to thank you for paying them. It's that's if they work. If they indeed work, then it's a contract between you. Number 2, we have what you call safety and security needs. That if employees feel that they are safe, for example, if they feel that their job is secured, and then they will be more motivated to work. Although job security can also be a demotivator in a way, because the people know that they are not going to sack me, so they're lazy. So as a manager, you need to be able to manage that very well. Now, if you have benefit system, welfare systems that take care of people when they are sick, when they are hospitalized, when in times of death, etc., then of course people will feel that they are safe and they are secure. That's the second level. The third level is what you call love and affection. See, love and affection, where employees realize that they are not being treated like machines. They are being treated like human beings who have emotions. They are not being treated as if they don't have emotion, but the employer is treating them in a way that makes them feel loved. They feel loved, and that they feel that some affection is being shown towards them. See, so the employee cares about you personally, wants to know how you are doing, wants to know a little bit about your family, wants to know about your birthday, a little bit about your personal issues. Your employer or your manager doesn't just want you, or just he cares more than just having you come to work, but he cares about you. He's asking about your family. He's about how things are going with you, etc. When you complain about family issues, he has time to discuss these things. You come to work and you are not very happy. He wants to find out everything's okay. Are you okay? So these little things meet the love and affection needs of employees. That's the third level. The fourth level is what you call self-esteem. Self-esteem needs are met when employees are made to feel that they have esteem, that it's difficult to explain. Self-esteem is just about the estimation of value that is placed on you, how they estimate your value. So you go to work, you have an experience, you have an expertise, you have competence, you have qualifications, etc., 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 and that your manager is recognizing that you have this, and is assigning you work based on your qualification, based on your knowledge, based on your skills, based on your competence. It's assigning you, it's placing you, giving you what you can do best, asking you to do what you can do best, and recognizing the skills that you are bringing on board, and respecting that, and seeking your views on issues, and making you feel that you have something to contribute. It's not treating you as though you are just a machine or you don't have a brain. In the colonial days, the slaves were told that you need to know your place. And one of the ways of knowing your place is that the slave is to be seen and not heard. To be seen and not heard. This same practice has been brought to a number of workplaces in 21st century workplace. And employees could feel that they only want to be seen and not heard. Seen and not heard. In other words, don't tell us what to do. We didn't bring you here to tell us what to do. We brought you here to tell you what to do. So keep your mouth shut and do what we tell you to do. I don't want your views. Don't tell me. I know it already. That's the way I've always done it. Now, this sort of attitude from a supervisor does not help. It will not build the self. It will not build the what we call the self-esteem of the employee. But when the employee's skills are respected, and is given a challenge, and is assigned based on his expertise and experience and what he knows how to do best. And in fact, one of the best things to do to an employee is to look at his strength and assign him based on his strength. Then you can get the best out of him. Now, if you fail to do that, what really happens is that you frustrate the employee, and the employee can decide to just hold back everything in him. So all the frustration is all the motivation is gone. Like I said, they can check out, but they can still come and take the money, the salary, because they are coming for the paycheck. That's very important to note. So there are different ways, that you can meet the self-esteem requirements or needs of the employees. Those are some of the things that I've explained here. Now, the other thing that Maslow talks about, which is actually the very highest level of need, or that motivates the employee, is what you call self-actualization. Now, Maslow thinks that it's not everybody who can reach this point, but if you meet all these needs, physiological, safety and security, love and affection, self-esteem, and you are giving people challenge, you give them challenge, you trust them, you give them challenge, you ask them to think. You say you don't always think for them, you don't always decide for them. You say, hey, look, I know you guys can do it, and look, you've got a degree in this. You did mechanical engineering, you did computer engineering, you did marketing, you did that. Come on, you team, I know you can do it. I believe in you. I trust you. Come on, solve the problem. And you say, hey, I trust you. Don't worry, keep flying. When you fall, I'm here. You won't drop. You won't drop. I'll be here to catch you. But think and try. When you have problem, I'm here to support. And when you do that, you actually turn your employee on, and their untapped reserve of human resources, let me repeat that, untapped reserve of human resourcefulness and productive ingenuity that is stuck in the human being, that is deeply rooted in the spirit of every employee, that reserved, that thing that is reserved in them, that untapped reserve of human resourcefulness and productive ingenuity will be brought to bear, will come out, and the organization can benefit a lot from the people. They will think, they will innovate, they will solve problems, they will surmount problems. I mean, they will become like water. And if water is on its, you know, let's say a stream meets a block, what it does is that it makes a wall. It will rise or go under it. So when you try to block a river, it will become a flood all over. So we call it fluidity or superfluidity. So when you treat them well, they become like river. They become like liquid. You can't stop them. They cannot be stopped. They will be unstoppable if you treat them and treat them very well. So people management is a skill that every employer has to get. Every manager has to gain. Every director has to gain. Every supervisor has to gain. Every team leader has to gain. Every pastor has to gain. Every deacon has to gain. Anybody who is in charge of other people has to gain. Even parents have to gain. Those are the things. So I sincerely believe that most organizations can do much better than they are doing at the moment if their leaders can practice effective people management. Well, it's getting lengthy, and I never intended these sessions to be lengthy. So thank you for listening. And just a little recap. Organizations have different resources, and most important among them is the human resources. Now, if you know how to manage them well, you can get the best out of them. And management style gives rise to employee mindsets, which also give rise to employee behaviors or employee outcomes, which in turn give rise to organizational outcomes. So how you manage will determine the kind of mindset that your employees hold about you and about the organization, and the kind of behaviors that they put out, and of course, which will in turn determine the kind of outcomes that your organization gets, whether they are going to be successful or they are not going to be successful. And to be able to motivate, you need to look at the things that will motivate the people at the physiological level, and then of course safety and security, and then love and affection, self-esteem, and then self-actualization. Right. There are other things that we need to do. For example, how do you motivate? In which practical ways do you motivate? What can you do? So God willing, the next session, we'll talk about practical things you can do to motivate at all these levels, so you can get the best out of your people. Thank you so much, and I pray that God will give us all of us understanding, deeper understanding of the lessons, wherever at all we are, whichever entity that we manage. We can be better managers, better directors, better functional divisional heads, better parents, better pastors, better deacons, better sophomamies or pastors' wives. Wherever at all we find ourselves, whichever group or entity that we lead, we can become better. We can all reflect upon our own management style. We can all change if we decide that we will change and allow ourselves to change. So I believe that these sessions will serve as very useful tools for you to begin to look at your own management style, reflect upon this style, and then see how you can improve upon your management style. So thank you for watching, and please don't forget, it's tomorrow 7 p.m. Bring a friend along, invite a friend, do watch party and let these lessons go. And let me reiterate that these lessons are taken from my book, Leadership Stripped Bare. Leadership Stripped Bare, published in 2018, and a lot of lessons out there. I'm trying to get it out to you free of charge. Remember, these are normally paid sessions, but as a result of my passion for leadership, to improve leadership in every entity, I'm doing these sessions very, very free of charge, and I pray that you benefit from them. Share the lessons and invite friends to watch. If you are a manager, you can watch these things. Invite other managers, other supervisors, etc., to watch with you. And if you have questions, please feel free to send me questions. Feel free to, give me feedback. If you have issues, please drop them on the screen or send me messages. Go to my wall and send messages. Thank you so much for coming back, and I wish you well. God bless you. Thank you. Okay, bye for now.